Well, I'm now with Jim Pryor, who's the chairman of Super Union. Jim, a pleasure to be here actually in your new offices.
Brand new office. Yeah.
It's very nice it is too.
Thank you.
Super Union is a new WPP entity. It's the combination of a number of companies that I think everybody watching today's broadcast is very familiar with. Brand Union as an example, Lambinet another. What was the genesis of Super Union? Why put all these well-known brands together into one entity?
Well, well-known brands individually strong with specialisms in each, but ultimately much more opportunity in combination than apart. So really geared around what we were hearing from our clients about the need to be served more completely with more sets of services, led by really strong people that understand their business and help them plot a path forward.
I suppose that's the status quo. What's the future? What's the vision? How do you see all these combination of fantastic skills, great people, great insight, helping clients going forward? Right?
Yeah, so I mean, we think there's great opportunity to really develop and offer a brand-led and creatively led offer that solves big business challenges, that advises clients with a neutral perspective on what the nature of a solution might be, but then has the ability to dive down into all sorts of different areas in order to deliver. So really building partnerships with clients where we can serve them more completely, serve them more fully, link up of course across the WPP network with other skills and other capabilities that we have in abundance to influence and drive the success of those client businesses more.
Yeah. So how would you frame now the brand experience versus the identity of the brand?
Yeah. Well, the brand experience is everything that you encounter whenever you encounter it, which might be in small moments and small points in time, or it might be a really big thing happening a lot of the time. But if you do not manage your brand with a complete and holistic view across everything that you do, and the way that connects and integrates with itself, reinforces every other experience that you provide to people, then you are missing a trick. Then you will be found out by consumers and by the market.
Given how many touch points there are now, I mean, customer journeys used to be unbelievably linear, and there was a start and an end to them. Now they're all over the place. They're very eclectic, and there isn't a start and beginning. So how do you manage all of that in terms of being able to get your hands on where the customer touches the brand? What's the most important aspect of that, and where do you focus your time, effort,
well, I said
and resource?
Because of course clients and organizations don't necessarily even control all of the brand experiences that people have in them now, right? So the most important thing is
the
to
notion
have
of a brand manager these days.
Well, the notion, yes, which becomes more and more conceptual in some ways, but I think what it does is it reinforces the importance of having an idea, a strategy, something at the heart of your brand that is clear, that is defined, that is unifying, and that goes across everything. So, brands almost move to me there's a very high level philosophy, almost a position that sits at the heart of everything, and then there's a lot of granular detail and activity that sits between. It's the bits in the middle that really get challenged. You've got to have a unifying idea in your brand, and you've got to be prepared to deliver against that and manage against that in a consistent way across the whole landscape of your brand.
Now, one of the themes we see in this year's BrandZ Top 100 Most Valuable Global Brands for 2018 is an increase in value of, I suppose, brands that are outside of the developed markets. So I think what we would classify these days as fast-growing markets. Those types of markets, we're talking about maybe Indonesia. This year we got our first brand from Indonesia in the top 100. India, Malaysia, a lot of those, and China of course, a lot of those countries were very slow in actually getting to understand how important that overall concept of what the brand is and how it manifests itself at every single touch point. But I sense that's changing.
I think it has changed. I mean, I'd almost argue that they were never slow at getting it. They just didn't start getting it until recently, and then they've got it really fast. A characteristic of all those markets is that they learn fast, really fast.
Yes.
Whether that's in the adoption of technology, or whether that's in the adoption of general business process and practice, or whether it is in this case in the notion of brand and all those markets you mentioned, that a real fast pace of change there, a real enthusiasm for the brand. You know, it's interesting in a country like Indonesia, a lot of businesses are family owned or at least controlled by, you know, small numbers of people. That gives them permission actually to move really fast.
Well, every chairman has a crystal ball to see into the future. Looking in your crystal ball in the branding and area, what do you see are the major developments that's going to be important for all of us going forward in the next few years?
I mean, I think there are a couple of things. One is differentiation is absolutely key to organizations now. It is no longer enough to be able to compete on the basis of good quality product and good pricing and you know, generic. You know, one might argue that has been ever so, but I'm not sure. I think we're really entering a time now where differentiation is absolutely key. I think that's going to become more and more and more so. The question is, what is the real value that you give me as an organization that I could not get from somewhere else?
Well, Jim Pryor, you've got an army of brand engineers now around the world to be able to implement that. I think your crystal ball looks very exciting. Thanks very much, Steve, for joining us.
Thank you very much, David.